Hi, everyone, and welcome to our third episode of Dialogues from the President's Corner, featuring Dr. Lawrence Zarda, President of Greensboro College, as well as our special guest today, Dabney Sanders, Project Manager of Downtown Greenway here in Greensboro. How are you both doing today on this cold, cloudy autumn day?
Doing well. Happy to be here.
Doing well, but we are following the weather forecast. We will have the remnants of a hurricane here sometime tomorrow, so we're paying attention.
Yeah, so everyone stay safe this weekend. In our first two episodes, we met and spoke about Dr. Zarda's background, and then last time we spoke with Randy Dawes, Vice President for Enrollment. And today we wanted to expand our conversation and discuss the Downtown Greenway, which will have a segment here on campus. So, Dabney, what exactly is the Greenway, and could you please provide a brief history on the project?
Sure. Well, the Downtown Greenway is a planned 4-mile loop that encircles downtown Greensboro. It expands the perceived footprint of downtown. It's a paved trail that is suitable for biking and walking and jogging, strolling, skateboarding, all those sorts of things. And the idea for this project started back in 2001 when a master plan for Center City was commissioned by Action Greensboro. And we started building the first section in 2009 and have been opening new sections ever since.
So, right now, as of today, where are we in the process? What's the latest news about the Greenway towards its completion?
Well, we have exciting news. We have built 3 of the 4 miles of the loop, and we're just waiting on the final mile, which actually is the section that runs along Greensboro College's campus. And we are planning on putting that section out to bid in December of this year. So we'll see some construction starting hopefully in May of 2023.
Can you talk about the community support that came up with the Greenway in terms of coming across the Greensboro College campus?
Well, I have to say, Greensboro College, outside of the foundations that support Action Greensboro that sort of decided to pursue this idea, beyond those foundations, Greensboro College was probably one of our first big advocates and supporters. The very first section we built, which is a section we call 5 Points, that runs between Eugene Street and the ramp that comes off of Freeman Mill Road, just kind of on the backside of Lee Street, about a block south of Lee Street. That very first section was a piece of property that at the time we were designing, Greensboro College owned that property. And they donated very generously a permanent easement, a 26-foot wide easement that allowed us to build that first section. So it was really tremendous support for the project, and that has continued as we've moved forward.
Okay. I know you had just mentioned before about the kinds of activities and events that will be happening on the Greenway, like you mentioned before with skating and people just kind of walking. And I know right before we started filming, you had mentioned I believe it was a sculpture. Can you talk about a little bit about what's actually on the Greenway and those events in the future?
Sure. Well, in addition to just the paved path itself, from the very beginning, we wanted to have a lot of public art along the Greenway because we thought it was such a great way to tell community stories, make connections amongst people. And so we have quite a bit of public art on the Greenway, and some of those are just pieces purely for art's sake. Other pieces are functional, like bike racks and benches. And we hope those will create opportunities for destinations for people to check out those particular pieces of art, in addition to whether somebody is just out exercising or whether somebody is using the Greenway for transportation, getting to and from a job. But we also, in addition to just the facility itself, we do a lot of programming on the Greenway and helping people enjoy it and use it. And we do everything from free fitness classes that happen to workshops and classes about gardening and nature, art classes, all sorts of things. One of the really fun things we've been doing the last few years is a goat yoga class, and that has been really, really popular, and we're going to do that again this spring.
That's interesting. So the farm animal goats,
Yes, so you actually are doing yoga, and you have goats, and particularly baby goats, who are just kind of hanging out with you while you're doing yoga. And if you're in a certain position, they'll jump up on your back. And it sounds kind of funny, but it's really fun.
That sounds interesting. When you said goat yoga, I was thinking Michael Jordan's coming out. So my next question's for you, Dr. Zarda. So like, what does the Greenway mean to like Greensboro College? Like, how that impact the college?
It's really a watershed for us in many ways. I mean, we're 184 years old. As far as we can tell, we're the longest serving institution downtown that still is serving its original mission. And we are downtown. But realistically, the eastern border of the main campus and also our Terrace Theater property has been an abandoned railroad track. It was being used when I arrived 12 years ago about once a month to deliver to a concrete plant, but otherwise was unused. And then once the concrete plant was done, and that was part of the Greenway development, it's abandoned. So we have our biology classes do twice a year cleanups and so on. But realistically, what's happening is a somewhat scary, hard to maintain abandoned railroad track will become a multi-million dollar beautiful downtown greenway. And it is the entire eastern border of our campus. And as Dabney said, Greensboro College provided the land for stage 1 and stage 4. And so we're fully committed, and it means a great deal to us. Just this morning, I was talking to our director of athletics, Kim Strabel, and we see when the Greenway is done, our student athletes getting in their aerobic work with their Greensboro College gear on, running the 4 miles downtown. And I think it just increases our presence significantly.
Oh, okay. So like my last question, Dabney, is I know you had mentioned the history of the program of the Greenway and how it started all the way back in 2001. Can you talk a little bit about like how this affects just the greater Greensboro community in general again, please?
Sure. Well, certainly, as Larry said, we're doing a lot of infrastructure reuse. So taking an old abandoned railroad line and turning it into a greenway over on the east side of downtown along Murray Boulevard. We've taken what was a 6-lane divided highway that was very underutilized, very unfriendly to pedestrians and cyclists, and we have again turned that into a great facility for walking and biking. We hope that it provides a great place for people to recreate, to use it as a means of transportation. We hope that it connects people in the community, learning about the community around them and neighborhoods that surround downtown. And really importantly, we are interested in what it is doing for economic development for our community. So we knew from looking at greenways in other parts of the country that greenways tend to be places that businesses and people like to be located near. And we thought that would happen here in Greensboro, and it has happened. So since we started the project, we've been tracking projects, private economic development projects that have come because of the Downtown Greenway, and we're seeing over $500 million in private economic development. And that's things like apartment buildings, restaurants, bars, great amenities to our city that everyone can enjoy. And it also helps the overall financial health of our community, which is good for everybody.
It sounds like so many benefits, and I'm sure like we all agree that we can't wait to see this Greenway completed.
Yeah, very excited for the completion. If we do, in fact, get under construction in May of 2023, we should be completed with the whole 4-mile loop by the end of 2024. And so we're anticipating just a huge, giant grand opening celebration in early 2025.
Can't wait. So thank you, Dabney, for coming by campus today and joining us. And thank you again, Dr. Zarda, for coming by to speak with us again. Thank you all for watching, and we hope that you have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you all soon. Thank you.